Ooh. Hello, Carol Walter. How you doing, gal? You doing all right tonight? That's all we can do, Carol. Oh, I'm great. Any better, I couldn't stand it. Any worse, I wouldn't be here. Where that damn spider bit me, it itches. God almighty. Hey, Diane. How you doing, girl? That stuff won't touch you. Only thing I found that'll stop the itch on it is just super hot water. Get in the shower or just stick it over a sink and it'll kill the itch on it for 3 or 4 hours. And they put me on some antibiotics today too. So yeah, it helps a little bit, but it won't stop it. Maybe it got me on these antibiotics fast enough so it won't get too bad. Weird Ron. That'd be a good a good lead into a, hey, how you doing, Troy? Yeah, the last time this happened, I put up with it for 2 or 3 months. I figured if I could get it before it really started coming apart, well, maybe it wouldn't be quite so bad. He said they had more damn brown recluse bites this year. I guess all the rain we had, but been moving them around. Oh yeah, I ain't near as sick as I was. Felt bad for 2 or 3 days there. Maybe doing good. We getting fitting in more and more and more. She minds. Yeah, 2 ambulance rides is enough. That'll last me for a couple of years. You said it, I didn't. I left the gate open to Lady's pen, just to see what she'd do. And she'd go to that gate and then look back at me, and finally she started out that gate, and I went, oh, just turn around and come back in. And laid down right there inside the gate. Like I'm gonna get as close as I can, but I know better than to go out. It's been pretty warm here. I didn't get out in it too much today. He knew what it meant. It's still 86 here right now. Wow, that's a hell of a drop, 30 degrees. I haven't looked at the weather here in the last few days. We had one day, I don't know, I guess it's been 10 years ago now, that it dropped 60 degrees in about 35, 40 minutes. I thought I was going to freeze to death. That kind of weather usually, that's when you get your storms normally. Yeah, yeah, it went from 100 to 40. Oh, I must have been living pretty good because the storm didn't come through here even after it dropped that far. It came through not far from me. They used to drive me crazy when I was up there on the Elkhart. Everything would be just nice, and all of a sudden it snowed a foot. Yeah, well, it's close to the Great Lakes, so we get that lake effect. That company I was pulling for was in a little old town called Wakarusa. It was a town, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It wasn't too far, it was about 30 miles away. And the illegals started moving in there, and they just took that whole town over. I ain't spent much time in Chicago, but I got my belly full of it quick. I don't blame you, Diane. I dropped down, run about 50, 60 miles further to keep from going through the bottom of Chicago when I'm pulling that stuff. Yeah, I talked to Cookie a while ago. He's doing good. He's taking some medication. Said he's in bed by the time we come on. He was on Sunfish's channel earlier today. Hello, Moon. You doing all right tonight, Moon? Well, I think he's about ready for the third round of that radiation treatment. I don't think it makes him feel as bad as that chemo did. He's been fighting it a long time, too. I think he's been fighting this for like 10 years. Yeah, they've came a long ways on a lot of them treatments. Yep. He's a tough dude. Well, they claim if you live long enough, you're going to get it. Hello, Mr. John. John, how are you doing tonight? No, I got a bunch of stuff I'm doing around here. And I got to go spend about 200 bucks at the grocery store tomorrow. Oh, that's great. What? Tell her happy birthday for us, John. All right, we won't, John. Hello, Lily T. I think lady looked like a dead dog laying down there, sprawled all out. How your puppy doing, Lily? Peace. Peace, you got me thinking about some of them old Texas beer joints we used to hang out in, like Buddy's Corner and Monkey and some of those. Had some good times down there. You talking about learning how to dance at Fuzzy's Corners? I probably should a few belt buckles myself in that part of the country. Your hand still improving, Pete? You got kicked out of where? Fuzzy's Corner? London. No, never did make that one. There was another one down there we went to, a little bit of Texas. Where did you get kicked out of, Pete? Uh, and one place I've never been that I'm going to go here one of these days, just a little weekend trip. Yep. Well, where that road split off right there, we went down that. There were a couple joints down there, and there's a catfish place right there, and then there's another little joint hole in the wall called a monkey down there. We used to go to every once in a while. I think it was. The road split. You came across a bridge on Buchanan on 29, and just before you got across the bridge, that catfish place was on the right, and that road peeled off to the right. Yeah. I don't think we ever went that far. Well, it's neat to find somebody that knows the same places, Pete. Might have. Wouldn't that be crazy as hell? What I started to say a while ago, I'm going to take a weekend and go down to Looking Box. I never have been down there. That dog got a split personality, Lily. In this trailer, she's right up underneath me, or if I go to bed, she got where she wants to lay her head on me, and it'll love it all the time. You turn her out, she goes berserk, running and zoomies and jumping up and down, and I think she got a split personality. I think that Ramblin' Rose was closed up time you were running around. It was sort of a funny story on that place, that big old nightclub, and the gal that owned that thing was named Carol, and she was a spitting image of that gal that played on the Monsters, dark headed, dark eyed. But anyway, I walked in the first time I ever walked in there. Mm, they claim that thing's really built up. Papa Smurf, how you doing? But they had a bar up front and a small dance floor and then a big dance floor on the back. You remember the Rose? Well, I walked in there and was supposed to meet a buddy of mine there, and it was getting close to closing time, and he hadn't showed up. He had car trouble, and I noticed them gals behind the bar were just nervous as a cat on a hot tin roof. And I got to looking around, and the only people in there was me and four guys walked in. Pretty rough looking old boys. And I was sitting there drinking a beer, and they gave last call. Them guys were taking their time, and Carol come walking by and said, "Hey, come here for a minute." I said, "You want me to get behind that bar and start stocking them boxes and hang around for a few minutes?" She said, "I sure wish you would." So I got up and went to stocking the beer boxes, and the guys finally left. Well, I walked out. They had a place you could pull in out of rain and stuff on the front. I walked out there, and I could see that car sitting there with idling on that parking lot. I walked back inside and told Carol, and I said, "I tell you what, I'm gonna go get my truck, and I'm gonna pull up right there on that drive-through, and y'all hit that truck, and we'll leave." And Carol told me, "So, well, I got a 357 in there." I said, "Don't worry about it. I got something in the truck, but we're just gonna get out of here." And so I eased out and went got my pickup and pulled out there, and all four of them gals hit my truck, and we were gone. And went there's a little restaurant down there. We went down there and got something to eat, and then came back and got their vehicle. And after that, I could walk in that rambling road, and they sort of adopted me. I've been married to every one of them, or a fiance or something. Some of them would be giving one of them waitresses a hard time, and they'd introduce me as their fiance or their husband or something. But that's how I got started in the rambling road. DJs are just a swinging tonight. Hello, Mike. How you doing, Tail Feathers? Yeah, some of those are good memories down there. We had a lot of fun in that part of the country. I hunted a place out on the old ranch road, and it was a guy named Moss. He worked for the city. He looked like Santa Claus. He was the guy I leased from. Done a lot of stuff down around Atlanta. They used to have a kayak race down there that I did every year. You remember the guy that was a hot shot on the bicycle racing? He won all the racing named Lance something. And anyway, they put it on. It was a deal for cancer. And we raced from Mason right there at the bridge. Well, if you'd ever seen him, you'd know who I was talking about. But we'd race from that bridge down to there's a little old bitty town that ain't nothing but a grocery store and a barbecue place and stuff. No, hello, Mr. Carl. I can't never remember the name of that town. If you call it, well, I don't know it, but yeah, Lance Armstrong. There was a ranch up there that they uh, had that race, and the they had a big recording studio there. There were a lot of people came in there and cut records stuff on that ranch. You didn't never know who you was going to see there. Castile, Castile, the name of that little old town we raced to. Yeah, that's about the same time I was hanging out down there. I want to go drink a beer at Looking Bog. Just say I've been there. Yeah, in the 70s and 80s, I was wild in Castile. Huh, okay. Castile was the name of that town, though, where a kayak race ended. Yeah, you were telling us that Lacey was throwing a fit. Well, I'm getting where I feel about the same way, Carl. Is Atlanta still up bank to bank down there? The river still up? Okay. Now, them rivers down there and get up right quick and go down right quick. That's a, I used to go out of Rock Springs a lot, and I'd go to Lano. Places we're talking about, not the Rambling Rose, but the other ones. Really? I used to hunt out there on a place called the Doran Ranch. Her back, Mike. That is a pretty drive out there going to Rock Springs. That was a neat place to hunt it on. It was right on the edge of the mountains and mesquites. And they had a cave up there. It was a bat cave. And early in the years past, that bat crap in there, they used to mine that stuff for fertilizer for fields and stuff. And a big old hole in the ground. And every time you got around that damn cave, you run up on a rattlesnake. Apples. Ooh. Yeah. Mm. Well, back up from a fire, DJ. Oh, okay. Oh, well, a country million. And piece they're talking about is the Texas Hill Country. And that's one of the prettiest parts of Texas. See just about anything you want to see. Did he? Oh, you don't put him in that round room. Damn it. Oh. I can't imagine anybody trying to get on Diane and DJ's nerves. Well, I do my best, Diane. You're trying to get that nerve off your back. All Diane and DJ just picking on me like normal, Mike. Lily T, you about ready to go camping again? Yeah. Y'all in some pretty country to do that in, Lily. And if you believe that, Mike, I'll sell you some land in Arizona that's oceanfront property. You're having a good time with that songwriting deal, aren't you, Mike? I bet you the real songwriters hate that program. My dad could sit down and just start talking and make a song up as he went along. Sing it, DJ. My dad played a banjo and a stand-up bass, and he'd get started on them things, come up with more BS. Hell, my spider bite about to drive me crazy. in Mexico. Did George Strait sing that? When I was in high school, I played a trombone. I can play guitar a little bit, but not just messing around with it. That's all. Peace and them. I played sports for a couple of years, and I got where I hated to coach. You play trombone too, Carol? And I quit them. Coach come down and jumped on my dad about it and said, "You need to make that boy come back out there and play. You ain't gonna make that boy do nothing he don't want to do." So yeah, that's the way I was, Carol. In fact, I gave that horn away here about 2 years ago. There was a kid that was wanting to get in the band, and he didn't have folks didn't have the money for a horn, so I gave it to him. I'm bad about giving stuff like that away. I gave a guitar away to a friend of mine's son here not too long ago. We had a good band in that little town I lived in. Had a big band for a small school, and we got invited to Cotton Bowl bunch, and got invited to California to the Rose Bowl one time. You made me think about something else, Pete. That was one of the twirlers that we had with that band that I was in love with that gal. Ooh, Lord. And she never did know it, though. I was too damn bashful to tell her. She's a couple years older than me. Believe it or not, I was bashful in school. Or not bashful, it just, I sort of hung with my own company. I didn't run with a big crowd. But one, I was different than the rest of the kids because I went to work in that steel shop when I was 12. Wow. Hey, you sunfish. My wife, when she was younger, the one that died, well, they, she was, she could play piano and sing, and she got into beauty contests and wound up being Miss West Texas. And they, school was out there, boy, out there. You talk about football. Woo! I love the rodeo. I love to crawl on them damn old bulls and ride them. Peace. Sound like y'all had a good band, Carol. I rode bulls for about 3 years and figured out that the old boy's been doing it a long time. Had him crooked teeth and no teeth in the front and walk with a limp. I thought, do something that he don't get banged up quite as bad with. That's when I quit riding. Boy, there's some big money in that PBR now. Way back when I was riding them damn bulls, you won 150, $200, we get a pretty good night. I think the most I ever won, I won $800 one night. That's funny in this room, had a lot of talent. Problem Child, I heard of that one. I tell you what, the ones that raised a really good bull, good bucking bull, they made more money than the riders did. Carol. I don't see how y'all did that piece of Diane. My oldest granddaughter is time of popcorn. My oldest granddaughter is, I never would have thought it, but her husband plays in a band, and Lord, that gal does be on the dance floor than anywhere. If I had to do that, I'd stand on my tiptoes for about a half a second and then fall over. Now, Sunfish got all of that figured out, Mike. If you're behind the scenes like that, Sunfish, do you still pick your watch hours and your up? Wow. Now, I can't imagine you fighting, Carol. You talk about playing sports. Well, I like middle linebacker and then a wide receiver, and I love to hit. One day, I was walking through the gym and I was holding hands with a gal, and I saw him walk up behind me, and he didn't like me because I quit. I wouldn't play for him, and he took and was going to karate chop me right across the small of my wrist, and I moved my hand. He like to fell down. Damn, Pete. But he went to raise his hand and come into my office. I walked down there and walked in his office, and he had a paddle board that had the whole drill in it and all that crap. And he said, "I'm going to give you licks for doing that." And I said, "No, you're not." And when he reached and got that paddle, I reached and got the other end of it and took it away from him. Ooh. I had a lot of folks talk about that deal. And finally, they took me to the superintendent's office, and I told them, I said, "You ain't going to touch me." I said, "If you don't like it, you call my dad." Well, they didn't want my dad up there. The superintendent was a cool guy. And he took and he said, "Well, Ronnie, would you let me give you licks?" I said, "Yeah, I'll let you give me licks, but he ain't touching me." We walked in the desk. He sent everybody else on back. We walked into his office, and he took that paddle and hit that paddle on the desk about 4 times. He said, "Get out of here." They was Mr. Tate. I'll never will forget him. I wasn't real bad about fighting. I wouldn't take anything, but they it was funny because I started working in a steel shop with guys that were 40 and 50 years old, handling 30-foot pieces of pipe. Hell, I was out as a grown man when I was 12, 13 years old. And so it was a little lopsided. Hello, Janet. Kids can be awful damn cruel. It's bad now. Two kids getting a fight back when we were growing up. Well, the next day they'd be getting along. And now they want to pick the kids up and put them in jail, raising a bunch of wussies. Hello, Bill. Worst fight I ever got into, and there were four guys jumped on me. They worked me over pretty good. But in the next 2 weeks, I caught every one of them four by themselves, and we sort of evened the score up. They never did fool with me after that. Oh, I'm doing fine. Oh, hello, Crazy Lacey. Hello, Janet. On that, you got a long week, don't you? One of them 2 weeks in one. Have a good night, peace. Uh-oh. Yeah, but she wants people food more than she wants dog food. But she'll finally get around to that dog food. Well, folks, we've been on here an hour and a half, so I guess it's about time to shut it down. Tell Lacey I'm sorry. Y'all all have a good night.